Yeah, so those who know my late brother, they know that this guy ate life with a big spoon. He came, he saw, he conquered. If you've ever read the story of Alexander the Great, the guy who by 33 or 34 had risen and conquered most empires from Greece all the way to Persia on a horse, then you know that that guy was valiant and great, and he did many things, and within a short time he was no more. My late brother mirrored to me, my late brother's life mirrored to me the life of Alexander the Great. Now, in his final days, in spite of the fact that we were not the best, in the best of terms most of the time, because his philosophy of life and mine were very different. I am a man who lives by my late mother's words. Whenever she spotted me becoming foolish or trying to rush things, one time I remember I was dating an older girl who, when I was just joining college. And these words are the words she always used to start her conversation with you. Omera the Mos. This can be translated to mean, young man, go slow. So my life has always rotated around that, and I'm now 41 years. Most people ask me that, how am I 41? Because I don't look 41. But one of the things I can give credit to the kind of the demeanor my body has, or the shape I am in. I am slow. I'm very, very slow to certain decisions, especially long-term decisions. Things to deal with, just life, relationships. I am very slow, very, very, very slow. By the time I was in college, most of my college mates had done many things ahead of me, but I think this has really helped me. Life is not rushing anywhere. But my brother's approach to life was the exact opposite. He was like Alexander the Great. The guy was charging like Jehu. So this made us not to be the best of friends while he was alive. However, in his final days, he calls me and sits me outside my brother's house in Komarok. It left me wondering why he called me, because I was not the best person that we used to share stuff with, because our principles in life were opposite. He told me, bro, these things we do thinking that we are having fun are all a hoax. These things we do thinking that we are seeking a soft life are lies, and they are just deceptive. There's nothing soft about this life. This life is so real. Those words have stuck with me. Don't think it took 2 weeks and the guy passed on. I don't think there was. I've ever lost my mother and father, both of them, and my brother's loss was the most painful. It left with a lot of pain and grief. I tried working out. I couldn't. Actually, that is the time my intensity with workout started dropping. Now, I want to talk to the adherents of soft life. The Gen Zs, and for lack of a better term, the peri-Gen Zs. You cannot reinvent the wheel. There is no soft life in this life. There is no free lunch here. It is written that even God, who did not even spare his own son, but subjected him to the death on the cross. Meaning that the purpose we seek in this life is going to be painful. And once you understand that the purpose we're going to seek in this life is going to be painful, you'll start looking at life differently, and you will now become conscious and see that this thing people are telling you is soft life. If God didn't spare his son, then the idea that you're going to have a soft life, have it easy, is from the Antichrist, or the one instead of Christ, or in short, the devil. This thing probably is coming from, naturally, it is not coming from your parents or from your upbringing, because right from the word go, you are weaned from your mother's breast. Was that soft? That wasn't. You are taken to school separated from your parents, very young, at the early age. Was it soft? It wasn't. When you reached of age 30 and above, most people in their 30s are trying to get in shape. They are working out, sweating it out. Is that soft? It isn't. They are running away from sugars, cakes, juices, things that are very sweet. Is that soft? It isn't. But if you look at these things, they give you your life, they make your life easy. So basically, the process of life is that of you have to pay a price that is not soft for you to achieve something. The only area that now people are getting deceived that they're going to have life soft is you don't have to sweat it in careers. You don't have to, your relationship doesn't have to be hard. In fact, let me tell you the truth. The relationships that will change your life, if you are fully discerning, don't look like it. They are not soft. The jobs that will change your financial outlook or will change your life, when you're starting it out, will not look like it. Business people know this. They start by digging deep into losses before they can make profits. So you find this idea of soft life is always brought to people by their friends. People who have already lost their way, and like the devil, they are so knee deep they don't want to die alone. So they are trying to woo you into their misery and into their choices that have already brought them down into despair and loss. I won't tell you that. Watch your friends, because at the end of the day, this life, no matter how, I think no matter how special or how unique or how, because subsequent generations have different ways of approaching life, life will humble you. You will age, you will suffer, you will sicknesses, you will lose people, and eventually you will also become consequences. You'll also become a summation of the decisions you have been making. So by the time you are of age and you have made several bad decisions and it has caught up with you, it has brought you maybe a terminal illness, or maybe you have reached a point where you are not employable, you can't be married, you have so many consequences to your life. The very people who are encouraging you to the path of destruction will not be with you to bear the consequences. In my late brother's final days, he was alone in bed, and being a man who had many friends, most of those people, in fact, all of them were not there. So the concept of a soft life, may we just open our eyes and realize this place is a soft life. In fact, you'll not be surprised to find that 10 years from now, most of these people who are voting for soft life, the Gen Zs and the young ones, and people who are just deceived, think that they can have, they're actually grandiose, think that they can have their own way in life. They're trying to reinvent the wheel of life that God himself has set up this way. Most of them have, after having had the consequences of their decisions of poor choices, when they have the time to sow good fruit that they will reap in future, will be born again preaching, not because they love Jesus, but because Jesus is the only simp who accepts people no matter their intentions. I pray that it doesn't get there. I pray that by the time you're going to God, you go to God because you love him, not because your life is hard, but because you just love him. And that way you'll have a real purpose in this life. But the long and short of it, Harper, in this life, you better humble yourself before it humbles you. There is no soft life here. The concept of a soft life is a haughty, convoluted, how do I even put this? You have a wrong impression of yourself. You're thinking yourself too highly than you should be, because God himself did not spare his own son. So who tells you can have a soft life here? This place is hard, and life is a preparation for death. That's why eventually all of us die, and death is painful. If life was a soft life, we would die smiling, and people would throw bashes while burying us. But we cry before we die, and people cry when burying us. There is no soft life here. There is purpose which you should fulfill. Once you fulfill it, you're rewarded for the temporary time you're here, and you depart honorably. Blessed day.